Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is about consciousness and relationships. So many people think that they have to destroy everything in order to grow. They feel like they have been stuck for so long that in breaking out of it or breaking through, that every aspect of their life has to shatter or has to be rejected in order for them to expand and to grow. And a lot of times, a significant relationship is involved. So we project our stuckness onto the other person. They're the cause of our stuckness. They're the reason for our stuckness. They're why we're not growing. They're holding us back. They're slowing us down. And all we can see reflected in them is them being slow moving. And the thing is that long-term relationships are often like motorcycle journeys across country. So you both come together and you're on your separate motorcycles and you make a decision that you're going to go down the same path together. Now, if you see a motorcyclist, yeah, sometimes, they're together. They're riding side by side, but sometimes in traffic or whatever, one person's out in front of the other one. Switches out. Your relationship and personal growth isn't necessarily parallel, going through the experiences simultaneously. Sometimes it's hard to tell that it's synchronized. One goes back, one goes forward. I just remember when I was going through a period of personal and spiritual growth, I was kind of glad that my partner wasn't going through it at the same time. That way I could have my highs and lows and they could have their highs and lows, and we weren't both hitting bottom at the same time. In a long-term relationship, there's adjustments to that. There's also adjustments for your partner being different than you are. They experience energy differently than you. Their response to it is different. Give you an example. My husband is going through having a cold. I just went through having a cold. My way of going through colds is to take lots of airborne and power through it. The remarkable thing is, one of the days I chose not to go to a meeting in the evening, mainly because I thought it was still infectious. He spent the entire weekend in bed. He did not get out of bed. He had his Kindle, he had his airborne, he was lying in bed. That would have driven me crazy. I couldn't stay still that long. This is a man who also needs, 10 or 12 hours of sleep at night. He has a different way of processing and dealing with energy. Different, not better, not worse, different. And we all are different. The thing I have learned about going through personal growth is that keep the focus on yourself. The remodeling is going on within, and as you shift yourself, the outer circumstances change. It's like this, equation A plus B equals C, and the relationship is C. But if you change A or you change B, then C changes. So if you want changes, if you want to see change, all you need to do is change within yourself and your hologram changes. The great thing about doing this as consciousness and in consciousness is that as consciousness, it is an amazing, expansive experience. It's neutral. It is joyous. You're just shifting within yourself, and it gives room for other people to have different experiences as well. And you can shift and step into any parallel universe that you want and have a different cast of characters in your hologram, which doesn't mean that you get rid of them and marry someone younger or whatever. It's more that they show up differently on set the next day. Same happens in the workplace. You make some really amazing internal changes and you show up and suddenly it's pleasant to be at work. Suddenly people are fun to be around because you have changed the structure of your life. You have stepped out of it being a soap opera and stepped into it being a romantic comedy. As you go through your growth and expansion, as you feel it, you may feel it as ascending to 5D, but really it's 5D descending into 3D. As you work on integrating your realities and expanding, you don't have to do anything to the scenery, and you don't have to do anything to the cast of characters around you. Just do the shifts within yourself and watch change happen. And you can have a more pleasant, more happy, more joyous reality without having to create tremendous drama or major emotional earthquakes in your life. If it's drama, if it's earthquakes, that's coming from your little self, your personality self, your egoic self. Consciousness doesn't need that. It's just this really pleasant, lovely evolutionary change that happens. And you look back and you go, how did that happen? You aligned yourself as consciousness in your life. So if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. You can sign up below to get these in your inbox or subscribe to this on YouTube. I have a weekly radio show and a weekly e-zine blog that I put out. So go to joan-newcomb.com and I'll see you in a couple days for another Mystic Minute.